Let's say you're a woman in the 1700s. You have a husband, a few children, a little house, maybe. You go about your day, lighting the fireplace, darning your clothes, supervising the gardener, putting out the fireplace. You have a handkerchief to wipe away the sweat from your brow. Why are you living your life like this? Why are you content to fall in with gender norms? But the real question is, what are you wearing? Well, that depends on where you're from. If you were from the Western world, countries like the United Kingdom, France, Italy, or Spain, the answer to that question would be a corset pulled tight over your bodice, over which you have a hoop skirt, petticoats, and a heavy, shapeless dress, all made of thick wool or linen. And if that sounds itchy, just imagine you're living in an overseas colony like India or Ghana, where the summers are sweltering and your sweat soaks through the layers you have on. But that same rule did not apply everywhere. In countries like Algeria, women had been wearing pants for centuries. The Middle Eastern serval was a staple of the Algerian, Turkish, North Indian, or Iranian women's closet. This consisted of a pair of loose-fitting pants, bunched out above the ankle and tapering somewhat below the cuff. This allowed for mobility, particularly in the Eastern European nomadic steppe tribes, who would need to move from place to place constantly. Let's fast forward a bit. How did a somewhat obscure Persian clothing style expand into a worldwide phenomenon, universally acknowledged and worn? The turning point was the explosion of opera that happened in 18th century Europe. Composers like Friedrich Handel put stories to music and brought world cultures to the Western stage. Later, in the Nutcracker, the Arabian princess's costume was traditionally a pair of pants under a loose shirt or tunic. Slowly but surely, London became used to women wearing pants, albeit as a novelty. All that changed in 1851, when bicycles were marketed as a means of transport for women. As a result, the bloomer costume, named after women's rights activist Amelia Bloomer, became popular among working women. If there were no men in the workplace, women would just come to and leave their jobs in a practical pair of bloomers, which allowed free movement and comfort. By the early 1900s, the female silhouette became drastically different, and it was all thanks to one man, Paul Poiret. Taking his inspiration from Turkish pants, Poiret brought his harem pants to Paris. He used imagery of Orientalism and exoticism to market his scandalous design as a jupe pantalon or trouser skirt for the modern woman. While this trend would have gradually permeated society in a few years in the normal course of events, the First World War saw women have a hands-on role in arms production and industrial labor. Denim fabric became increasingly popular, and one-piece jumpsuits were mandated as factory uniform. At the end of the war, pants were being picked up by all the major fashion houses. Coco Chanel, for example, was one of the major advocates for women's pants. Shockingly, at age 86 she revealed, "I came up with them by modesty. From this usage of it becoming a fashion, having 70% of women wearing trousers at evening dinner is quite sad." Coco Chanel grew sick of seeing women in pants. Who would have thought? By the time the Second World War broke out, women had a different role in the world. Women had won suffrage many years ago and so took an active, equal part in the conflict. The 1939 Vogue cover, featuring a picture of a woman wearing pants, still contained elements of mysticism and Eastern culture, but the silhouette was simpler and more feasible for everyday wear. This time, when the war ended, most women did not leave their posts, choosing to stay on as workers. The 50s saw an increase in use of pants as beachwear or resort wear for the on-the-go woman. Babydoll swimsuits, a style with shorter pants rather than a long skirt, became popular around this time, and loose pants were used as cover-ups for more revealing two-piece outfits.
You keep saying you got something for me, something you call love, but confess.
In the 60s, female pop icons like Cher and Tina Turner pioneered the art of the matching pants or jumpsuit. It was much easier to perform in these outfits, and their influence drew the public to these styles as well, leading to the creation of the fitted stretch pants, popular among both beatniks and housewives. Pants came to the Bollywood screen during the hippie movement of the 1960s and 70s when Zeenat Aman's Hare Krishna Hare Ram character Janice appeared on screen in fusion wear, bell-bottom pants, and traditional saffron fabric. In fact, bell-bottoms grew in popularity worldwide during the height of the bohemian hippie movement of the 1970s. Nargis Dutt made a splash in her tucked-in collared shirt paired with loose pants cinched at the waist.
Women seem to have this penchant for putting something on in the morning, looking great and wearing it throughout the day, and then turning it into something smashing in the evening.
When the 1980s rolled around, pants became part of a larger menswear trend. Julia Roberts was one of the early pioneers in her awards army outfit of a baggy men's suit. Oscar de la Renta and Gianfranco Ferri adopted this in their 1984 spring-summer collections. The woman of the 1980s was a powerful leader with authority in the workplace and home. In the government, though, things were much the same. It is interesting to see how pants for women are perceived today. Female politicians like Hillary Clinton, Michelle Obama, and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez adopted this style to give off a sense of power and efficiency. For example, Clinton's iconic pink suits were cleverly engineered to combine a sense of her femininity with the modern train of thought she aims to represent.
The homemakers and nurses, the teachers and lawyers, the policymakers, and women who run their own businesses.
In the media, however, it is often interpreted as an attempt to appeal to masculinity, to hide their bodies, and the fact that at the end of it all, these women are exactly that, women. To some, they represent power. To others, an attempt to hide femininity. Let's go back in time. You're in your house again, in your heavy skirt and with your children swarming around you. You don't know it, but day by day, things are getting better for you. Long after you, women are rising up, changing things, creating movements. So things become sleeker, lines cleaner, the body more defined. Yes, pants threaten the status quo. They bring women closer to the social status men have been handed. But maybe that's why they're more important than ever in today's world.